The live is on. Hope everybody's had a great Friday and a great week. If this is the end of your week, if it is indeed the end of your week, hope you had a great week and a great day this Friday. And let me make sure we are activated in here. So as y'all come in, you can shout yourself out in the comments section. We're gonna get right into it in a minute. I'm gonna give everybody like a minute, maybe less than that, to introduce yourselves, get yourself situated, turn your volume up, get yourself a beverage, something to eat, whatever you're gonna need for this next, we're gonna go about 20, 30 minutes here. I'm gonna go over, this is part one. We're talking about the leadership principles straight from Amazon. Yes, the company that you order from with Prime that bought into Whole Foods, owns Whole Foods, whatever the situation is. We're gonna get into the leadership principles that Amazon requires of anyone who gets into a position of authority in their organization. So as y'all come in, shout yourself out. Chris checking in from Southampton, New Jersey. What's good? If you're on Facebook watching, go ahead, shout yourself out. I'm gonna get started, and as people come in, they come in. Let's get right into it. But anyway, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete. I'm author of 27 books, owner of this company called Work on Your Game, which is all about taking the tools necessary to be successful in sports, which is where you can get to the top 1% of what you do, and applying those same tools to your business, to your life, and if you happen to be an athlete, to the sports world. And it starts with the way that you think. This is not about running fast and jumping high, but the mental tools that you apply can help you run fast and jump high, because you're going to do the work that will help you do those things. So we got South Central LA in the house as well. So what we're talking about here, oh yeah, and I'm an author of several books. I'll tell you about these books later on. But what we're talking about here are principles that Amazon requires of anyone who gets into a leadership position at their company. So these principles that I'm going to be sharing is 14 leadership principles that they share, and this is public information available on their website. So I'm going to share 5 today, 5 tomorrow, and 4 the day after, so we get to a total of 14. I'm going to tell you what their principle is, then they give like 1 or 2 sentences on what it is. So I'll share that, and then I'm going to tell you what that means, even if you don't work at Amazon, even if you're not working for some company that makes the kind of money Amazon makes, even if you're an entrepreneur just working by yourself, you're a freelancer or a solopreneur or you're just trying to figure out what you're doing. You don't even know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you how all of these things apply to you and how you can apply them yourself. Number one principle. First of all, let me read what they say in the intro here. They say, we use our leadership principles every day, whether we're talking about ideas for new projects or deciding on the best approach to solving a problem. This is one of the things that makes Amazon peculiar. All right, number one principle, leadership principle that Amazon has listed on their site is customer obsession. And I think everyone can agree that Amazon is obsessed with their customers. How many people here have Amazon Prime membership? Or how many people here just shop on Amazon? When you're looking for a product, some kind of electronic or some kind of gadget or just some random odds and ends, knickknacks that you just know you need, but you don't know where exactly to get it, or you don't want to go to the store, or now they got COVID, so you don't feel like going to the store because they're going to make you put a mask on, and they don't even let everybody in the store. You usually just jump on Amazon because you know Amazon's going to have it. Right? Everybody uses Amazon, even if you don't have Prime. If you don't have Prime, it's because you just didn't want to pay for it. It's not because you don't think Prime is worth it. Because when you have Prime, you get 2-day shipping guarantee, and if you have a Whole Foods near you, you can shop at Whole Foods and they'll deliver the food to your doorstep. I use the Whole Foods Amazon Prime delivery all the time. Amazon is obsessed with its customer. All right, and they say leaders start with the customer and work backwards. Let me say that sentence again. Leaders start with the customer and work backwards. They work vigorously to earn and keep customer trust. Although leaders pay attention to competitors, they obsess over customers. That's a lot that they said right there. All right, let's go right into this. First of all, what is your customer? If you don't own a business, if you're not Amazon, let's say you don't have a product or a service for sale on Amazon, and you're not selling something through a sales funnel or email marketing or any of that, you're not running any kind of advertising right now on the internet, who is your customer? Your customer is whomever you are trying to influence or persuade to do something that would help you, that of course is going to help them as well. That's your customer. So if you're a football player trying to make the football team, who's your customer? Your customer is the coach who's going to put you on the roster, and hopefully you get on the first string and you get some playing time. If you're unemployed and you're trying to get a job, who is your customer? Your customer is the HR manager or the hiring person, whoever's in charge of hiring at whatever company you're trying to get a job at. If you're a YouTuber, your customer is whoever is in the audience, the people that you want to watch the video that you're about to make. So your customer is whoever the person is that you wish to influence or persuade. You must be obsessed with who that person is, what they want, what their needs are, their challenges, their positive things they got going, negative things they want to get rid of. You must be obsessed with that, because the better you understand your customer, the better you will be able to put together the right kind of offer for that customer, thusly get them to do what you want them to do. You must be obsessed with the person you are seeking to persuade. If you don't know who you're seeking to persuade, then that will probably explain to you why you're having trouble figuring out what to do next. When you know who your customer is, you know exactly what you need to do. Number 2 principle. These are Amazon's leadership principles for all of their people in positions of authority. Number 2 is ownership. Amazon says leaders are owners. They think long-term and do not sacrifice long-term value for short-term results. They act on behalf of the entire company beyond just their own team and, of course, their own self. They never say something like, "That's not my job," quote unquote. This is another great one. And this is why Amazon is such a huge company. Ownership. Ownership means not necessarily that you have paperwork on something or that you paid it off in full, or you don't rent or mortgage or lease. We're not talking about that. Ownership means whatever you're involved in, you have full control over it. You own it. You touch it. You have everything to do with it. If anything goes wrong with it, you accept that you have something to do with that thing not going right. And that's what ownership means. At Amazon, they say every leader has ownership of what they're doing, and they look at the big picture. Not only what's going to help me and my little group right now, but what's going to help the whole company overall in the long run. Every decision that they make, they think beyond just themselves. And no leader and no owner can ever say something like, "That's not my job." If you own a business, for example, if you owned a neighborhood pizza shop and something's wrong in the bathroom, you can't say, "That's not my job." You own the company. So if nobody else is going to do it, you have to do it. If you're an athlete and your trainer is telling you, "All right, you need to do this bench press," and you don't like doing bench press, you can't say, "Well, that's not my job." Well, listen, if you want to make the team and get a contract and get paid to play your sport, it has to be your job. So owners always understand that anything that comes up and everything that comes up could possibly be their job, even though they may not want to have to do everything. That's why you hire people. You may have to do everything, and you are fully capable and, more importantly, willing to do everything necessary when you are an owner in your organization. Number 3, we're talking Amazon's principles of leadership. Number 3, invent and simplify. Amazon says leaders expect and require innovation and invention from their teams and always find ways to simplify. They are extremely aware, look for new ideas from everywhere, and are not limited to things that are not invented here. As we do new things, we accept that we may be misunderstood for long periods of time. Invent and simplify, very simple. When you're trying to persuade people, you're trying to persuade yourself, when you're trying to get your team on the same page, you got to make it clear exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, what's going on, where it's going on, why it's going on. You got to simplify things, and clarity helps speed things up. I talked about this on my show. I believe it's masterclass number 1557. It just came out maybe Monday or Tuesday of this week. You must simplify everything that you're doing so that everyone understands exactly what the program is, exactly what the process is, and exactly how it's working. If you can't simplify what you're doing, that means nobody else will understand it, because you're not clear on it, nobody else can be clear on it. And when people are unclear and things are not simple, you know what people end up doing? They do nothing. They go away. They go find something that they can understand. When you give people things that they can't understand, they go away. They do not try to figure it out. Most people are not going to work as hard mentally as you do on your stuff. So your stuff has to be simplified enough and clear enough that everybody gets exactly what you have going on. Henry Nielsen, what's going on. And also inventing, meaning whenever something is not where it needs to be or something's not working the way it needs to, your job is not to say, "Well, I guess we don't have that." Your job is to say, "All right, how do we figure this out? What do we need to do? How do we change this? What innovations can we make? How can we find a way around this situation, whatever it happens to be?" That is your job as a leader when you are inventing. Is that number 3 or number 4? 1, 2, 3, number 4. Leaders are right a lot. This is Amazon's principles of leadership, for whoever didn't hear the intro. Leaders are right a lot. They have a strong judgment and good instincts. They seek diverse perspectives and work to disconfirm their beliefs. I've done masterclasses on all of these points that I just read out from Amazon here. Are right a lot. I know people say things like the customer is always right. You've heard that before, right? But a person who's a leader and who is in charge of something and who is making things happen, they're also right a lot. They're right often because they're smart, They know what they're doing. They know their stuff. They know their material. They solve problems. They have strong judgment skills, strong discernment skills. These are all things that a leader has to have. And if you're going to work in Amazon, you can't be wrong all the time, because if you're wrong all the time, then you may not be competent. You probably shouldn't have been hired for the job in the first place. So leaders being right a lot. And a lot of people think they're in our society, especially people say, well, you're always trying to be right. People are always trying to win. You're always trying to be correct, as if something's wrong with that. At Amazon, they're saying being right is exactly what you should be doing if you're going to be in a leadership position. While we have somebody as a leader who can't even they don't even have their own information. They don't even know what they're doing. They can't even be right. How can you help anybody else be right? So you must be right all the time. And you also work to disconfirm your beliefs. So you have some idea of what something's going to be, but you find out, let me make sure that what I think is actually what it is. And you go get the data, you get the information, you do the testing, you find out what you know and what you don't know, and you make sure you have the right answer. Not the answer that you want, but the right answer. And there's a difference between the two. And number 5, learn and be curious. This is leadership principles from Amazon, the company. The 5th one, the last one we'll do today, learn and be curious. Leaders are never done learning and always seek to improve themselves. They are curious about new possibilities and act to explore new possibilities. What does this mean? In life, if you're going to grow, you're going to advance, you got to keep your mind open, right? You got to know that there are other things that you can look at, other ways that you can go, other directions you can turn to when it comes to getting information, when it comes to creating success, when it comes to solving problems. Anybody in life, anybody here listening, ever had a problem in your life, you didn't quite know how to solve it, you didn't quite know what to do with it? In order to solve that problem, you had to learn something new, and you had to be curious about, all right, what am I not noticing here? What do I not know? Who do I not know? What information have I not explored? What angles have I not tried? What things have I ignored that maybe could work for me? If you're not willing to learn and be curious, there's no way you can grow and advance. And Amazon, I think we can agree, this is a company that grows and advances all the time. You must be willing to learn and be curious. So I'm gonna stop at that 5 today. I'm gonna recap these 5, and I'm gonna do the next 5, the next tomorrow, and the next 4 to complete the 14 tomorrow. And I will put this, Sunday. And I'll put this on I'll put this under the, what do they call it, the IGTV feed on my IG feed. I'm gonna stop putting it in the main feed because I think it's clogging it up, but I'll put it in the IGTV feed. So number 1, these are Amazon's principles of leadership. Number 1, customer obsession. Number 2, ownership. Number 3, invent and simplify. Number 4, are right a lot. And number 5, learn and be curious. So I'm gonna give you the rest of these over the next couple of days, and I'll put this will be on YouTube, it's on my Facebook page as well, and I'll put it in the IGTV feed on my Instagram. So it's not going to be on the main feed with the pictures and stuff. I'll put it on the IGTV feed because I think it's starting to clog up the feed. But that's what it's going to be. Anybody who got I don't think I saw any questions. I'm looking at the comment section. No questions came in. So tomorrow we're going to do the next group. I do these at different times every day. I usually do them earlier in the day, but today we had a lot going on. So we'll get to it when we get to it. Everybody work on your game. Have a great weekend. Dre all day. Out of here.